from where you at. I came here for vengeance, watch your back. No need to defend, I'm on attack. Sorry they can't reply, but I guarantee they had a blast.
So Hyrox 2024, my first Hyrox in Melbourne. I'm going to take you through exactly what I thought and I guess all the preparation and then obviously the whole event itself. So we had about 30 members participate in Hyrox. It's a good number. Hopefully we can get a little bit more. I think they're coming again in Melbourne in November, which I don't think it's come out yet. So hopefully we can get a little bit more. I think it's just about people understanding exactly what it is and that anyone can do it, any sort of ability and I guess stage in their training life. They can just give it a go. It gives people an idea of something to train towards as well that is very achievable. The runs can be done, a walk, jog, whatever needs to be done to get it to finish it. So you don't need to be running any certain pace to get it done, just have to finish it. In terms of preparation for me for this Hyrox, I had really put an idea and the goal was to really go hard in my preparation for a good 10 weeks leading into Hyrox. And then coming to the realization after about sort of 2 weeks, sort of looking at the time frame and looking ahead in terms of the calendar for my LA to Vegas run, realizing that I'm only sort of 15 weeks away from that and the sacrifice, the investment, and I guess the goal of the 500Ks, 550Ks, LA to Vegas through the desert, through Death Valley in under 4 days is a priority. That is the sole focus for, I guess, this year and this next little training block. So I couldn't put off doing that for Hyrox, knowing that Hyrox is always going to be there, can always have a good crack and have a good training block towards it, because it's a totally different training module and intensity that's required to perform at your best at something like this compared to an ultra marathon, which is over days and requires a lot of volume. And you can't do both at the same time because the amount of Ks you need for, I guess, the running component for the ultra marathon requires you to give you everything. And you're running, over 100 Ks a week. That doesn't leave much time or energy left in the tank. So didn't really prepare at all for this run, but I have doing a lot of slow run, zone 2 runs for LA to Vegas. Seeing the event in person, I know last time when everyone did it, they really talked about how the event was and how spectacular it was and how it was well designed and put together and easy to follow and stuff like that, and the environment and the vibe and intensity of the whole thing. I thought it was really good. I thought to really set out, it's really well set out. It's easy to follow. I was sort of trying to get an understanding when I got there, like how does everyone know where they're going or how many laps, but it was really easy to follow. In terms of the running laps, you have to do 2 laps, which is 1K of running. I reckon, I think last year they had to do 3 or 4 laps of a smaller course. That would really, really put me off because I mean, once you're running and under that sort of fatigue, you lose count straight away. There was even once when I went around for, it was 1 lap that I sort of looked in to see if, and I went into the thing to have a look if the people who were in front of me, because I already knew who they were already started on the circuit and they hadn't, so I'm like, shit, I've only run 1 lap. And that's just, I mean, loss of concentration through fatigue that you lose track of counting from 1 to 2. So, but it was really put together really well, and I mean, it's another event I'm really looking forward to doing doubles in a month's time through our My Protein ambassadorship through with Kieran. So that's gonna be really interesting to get up there. We're going up there with Craig, a videographer, so we'll show you exactly what that sort of day entails. Going up there in the morning, competing in the afternoon, Hyrox Pro doubles. We're gonna have a good crack. I didn't really have any nerves. I took the kids. It was a pretty full-on day, to be honest with you. I took the kids to the footy for the first time. They watched the Bulldogs, and then we went to the rooms after and had a chat to the players and that sort of stuff. And Willow especially was really excited, and same with Sass. So I took them along. Again, their first footy game. We got the training, so it was a full-on day, and then Nikki picked the kids up and I sort of walked across to the exhibition centre. So there wasn't any sort of lag time between then. I didn't really eat much throughout the day, but I mean, again, I wasn't putting too much emphasis on the performance. I was just going to go there and really enjoy myself and have fun, and that's what I did. So the category I went into was the men's pro. So I guess the difference is everyone's doing the same exercises, same stations. It's just the different weights that you need to be pulling, pushing, wall balls and lunges and stuff like that. So yeah, we're doing the doubles pro in Sydney in a month's time. The waiting room beforehand, it was a 5-minute countdown that felt like I went for about 20 minutes. I didn't get to the front. Again, I wasn't too focused on that. If I was really going for, really pushing it and in preparation for next time, I'd get to the front and make no excuse, because obviously trying to get around people at the start and stuff like that. I knew the first sort of one, I really went out there and tried to stay with Kieran. He was probably sort of 20 meters ahead all the whole time. So once I got out, because he was in front, I got out and sort of tried to stay with him. So I was pretty happy with the way sort of that first one went. We were actually next to each other, so that was good fun. I was really enjoying myself, and that was one of the things I really want to take away from it, is just do it with a smile and enjoy myself. And yeah, went into the ski and could sort of see Kieran's screen as well. We were going neck and neck, and it felt pretty good. Obviously, he was sort of doing that head start, 30 metres behind, and he went off, and then went on to that second run. Again, was feeling pretty good. My pacings on the run were actually pretty good, pretty even, between sort of 4:05 to sort of 4:15 pace the whole time, which I was really happy with. There was one blowout one, which was one I went to the bathroom at the end of the run, so that's why that run was a little bit more. But otherwise, running was probably one of my things that I was actually quite happy about. Obviously, you can get a lot faster, no doubt about it, especially if you're training for that sort of interval, like the threshold sort of runs, the speed sessions, which I haven't done a speed session for a long time. Get into the sled was quite heavy in terms of pushing, come into the sled sort of about 5th, I think. So same sort of position as from where I was. Obviously the guys in front of me are already really good runners, sort of those top 5. Whenever there was someone that was running at a quicker speed than I was and come past me, that was definitely someone I tried to stay with for the whole 1K. So that gave me some good inspiration, good, I guess, pacing. So I did that a couple of times. Coming to the sled push was pretty hard, but I actually made up some ground there. Another good run, but the runners were sort of catching me. The good runners that were in front of me, if I caught up, I got in front of them on the sled push, and they sort of come and pick me off on the coming into the sled pull. And the sled pull was my huge downfall. That was something that I was, 3.5 minutes behind, 4 minutes behind, I guess, the good to average sled pullers. I come in at sort of 5th, and then I went out at about 40th. I reckon everyone sort of overlapped me, and I got to a point where I sort of stopped and started counting. If I'd done too many, if I'd gone, one more lap too much or up and back, because I was like just not understanding how I could be so slow, because I wasn't actually stopped at any stage. I didn't actually get on my hands and knees, or I wasn't tired or anything. I was pulling the whole time, but obviously, obviously not at the speed that anyone else was. So that's obviously something I need to work on. It's something I didn't practice going to the race. I did it once before, and that's a huge sort of downfall with preparation. So this, when I do it again, obviously the sled pull will have to be a huge one, because you can make up that sort of 3.5 minutes by doing it a lot faster, and just like anyone else. So mentally it put me a fair bit back as well. But again, I come back to the point of, okay, well, it is what it is. I can't change it now. Get into the run and let's kick it and let's enjoy it, and do it with a smile, and try and run these runs and use it as a really good training program, a training event for LA to Vegas. Then we come into the sort of the burpee to broad jumps. That was a difficult one. I thought I did not too bad, but looking at the sort of splits, I was probably mid-range, which is probably where I am in burpee broad jumps. I was going to take a step every single time instead of like jump, but I ended up doing that because I felt when I got to the burpee stage, I actually was feeling quite fresh. After the sled pull, I'd recovered that much going into that run. Because I was so long at the sled pull, I recovered, the heart rate would have been low as. Then we got into the rower, the kettlebells. The kettlebells, I thought maybe I'd have to put it down because I'd done it once before here and I had to put it down. But I did that unbroken and did that, relatively quick, without being super quick. But I did it with, consistently moving and didn't have to put it down. So I was happy with that. Got back into another run. The lunges was probably one of the ones that was, a huge downfall and one of the ones that I felt was extremely difficult. The second I picked up that lunge bag, I was like, "Ooh, this is not going to be good." It was just so heavy, and legs are fatigued already, and straight on your neck, you can't put it down, otherwise you get a time penalty. And because the course was like up, back, it was like a zigzag. Mentally, that fried me as well, because I got to the first one, or even when I took that first step, I was already shaky as it is, and got to that first one, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to go. So I literally put my head down and didn't even look, and I had a strategy of how I was going to do the lunges in terms of like, just even the way the lunges happened, and that sort of went out the window. I was like, oh geez, it's not going to be good. If your tactics fall out early of what you're meant to be doing, then it's like shit hits the fan. When baby's out with the cot, it's like shit, what am I doing now? It's like, just get this done. So got through the lunges. When I say got through, I mean like just got through. Literally put that lunge bag off and threw it in disgust. I was that done with it. The run after that was pretty average as well. And then we got into the wall balls, which the wall balls I was happy with. I think I did them not too bad. The split sail, I'm probably again middle range with that. I guess with the Hyrox and the way to get quicker and the way to cut off time is obviously the stations. The running's a big one. For me, if I can get that running down to a sub 4 for all of them instead of a 4:0, 4:08, 4:15, around that, that's going to shave off, 40 seconds straight off, even a little bit more. But I think the big one is the stations for me, is that you need to be, you cut 3.5 off the sled pull, you cut 40 seconds off that I went to the bathroom, so that's already sub hour 10. Then you just gotta wipe off some more with those other exercises to get down to that, near that hour. So again, I think the winner was a sub hour, but a lot of the people were sort of around that 1:04 to 1:10. So you got to bring that down to that sort of sub 1:10, and then you get into that sort of 1:05 if you're going to be any good in this sort of game. I think the winner of my age group did like a 1:04, I think. And my age group probably one that's probably quite high in terms of how many people are doing it. I think I finished 15th in my age group for this Melbourne. Again, it's not great for what I want to be doing, but it's obviously, I haven't trained for it, so you can't not train for something like this and get into these sort of energy zones and these the intensity that's required in this if you're not training for it. So that's just the honest truth about training for an event and training for something on purpose. I'm training for LA to Vegas, which is 550 Ks under 4 days, and that's what I'm training for. So I am looking forward to in the future training solely for a Hyrox event and seeing how I go. But right now that's not our focus. So I know we had some amazing results from some of our TPC crew. Kaz again, first in her age group, so she went to Worlds last year. She's going again, amazing. And then Kieran, first in his age group this time. He finished second in his age group last time, so he's going to Worlds. So again, it just shows that, I guess, the training we do at the Performance Club works, and that's a good representation of who we are as a business and what sort of, I guess, training we put together in our programming. So that's a big one as well. So it showcases exactly who we are. We've got the winner of Melbourne Hyrox, just I think he's from France, has contacted me before. in terms of he came down and did a session here a couple of weeks ago. He did a sub-hour, 58. He won the Hyrox in Melbourne. He's been doing it for a little while. He wants to come down and have a chat this afternoon in terms of some sort of sponsorship to get him to train here. So that's exciting. You know what I mean? People want to train here because of the environment we put together and the programming that enhances their performance. So yeah, it's a good, it's a proud moment when people want to come and train here and they can see exactly what we do. But that's our Hyrox sort of recap for Melbourne 2024. Again, looking forward to doing Sydney in a month's time with Kieran. So we'll work out a bit of a tactics. I'm just going to try and stay on his back, and he'll obviously just go out flying with the running. I'll just try and stay on his back, and then we'll work out the stations and how we're going to incorporate that. Obviously, he's a better runner than myself, so just making sure the tactics are right there in terms of, I guess, him running after straight after an exercise, so it gives him a bit of a break. So hopefully I can try and be the one that pushes the speed because he's worked harder on the stations before we've run. These little things can make a huge difference in the double. So we're part of the My Protein team in Sydney, so we'll be decked out in My Protein, and they've got their own stall down there, and they're one of their major nutrition sponsors for the Hyrox going forward. So I'm looking forward to getting over there and meeting all the My Protein team as well. I know there's a fair few doing it over there, so we'll have a good crack at that and have some fun with it. So we'll see you soon.